Hey traders, welcome back to another daily profit and loss recap video. Today I made $635 in profits with 4 trades. 3 of them were winning trades and 1 of them was a losing trade. And in this video I'm going to break down all of these trades, talk about my thought process behind them, and hopefully share some tips that you can use for your own trading as well. So the first trade that ended up being a $601 profit was with HEPA. If we take a look at the daily chart down here, we can see that HEPA recently had a big sell-off to the downside with the announcement of their reverse split. They had a 1-for-20 reverse split on May 11th, and around that time it fell from about $13 per share, adjusted to the split of course, down to a low of $6.25. And last Thursday we saw that this started to bounce back up. Friday it had a little bit of an inside bar setup, and today on Monday it was gapping up, which is why this was one of the stocks that I was watching this morning. If we take a look at the Market Master group, this was one of the stocks that we were looking for an opening range breakout with the opening range breakout being $14.47. Okay, so if we go ahead and draw that $14.47 level, that's going to be our breakout level. And what we would be looking for is a move above that level in order to get into a trade for a scalp. So right at the open, this hit that level, fell down, and then this actually didn't come back to life and start making a move until around 11 o'clock a.m. as it started to push back through VWAP and volume started to pick back up a little bit. At that time, that's when I took a starter position in this trade. My average price was about $13.80, I believe, and I took a starter there, simply anticipating that this was finally going to break above that opening range high. And then once it did break above that opening range high, I added a few hundred more shares to this position since the trade was already working in my favor. If we zoom out a little bit, we can see that there is some resistance in the $16 area and just above $16. So once I saw that this was rejecting that area, hit a high of $15.75, I sold some up here in the 15s, and then I sold the rest of them in the mid 14s as it started to pull back. So all in all, this was a very quick trade for me. Was not super patient with it, didn't have a full position size necessarily, but after it already grinded its way back up from under $12 per share, my entry up here just under 14 could have really been considered chasing a little bit. So I didn't want to get too greedy with this, and I didn't like the fact that it had this big rejection from that $16 resistance area that formed earlier in the day. Okay, so the next trade is MBOT. Now with MBOT, I had a total of 1,500 shares. This was a trade that I kind of fumbled today. Should have, could have, would have been a much larger profit on this trade. And very quickly, I just want to give a quick shout out to Slick Trader in chat. MBOT was a stock that I was watching earlier in the morning. This also had its opening range breakout level posted, which was $1.98. But I kind of took it off my radar, was watching other stocks, was in different trades. And Slick Trader brought this to my attention as it was kind of coming back to life. And that's actually why I was able to make a profit on this trade. So again, shout out to you, Slick Trader. And this is a really good example of why it can be so important to work with a team, because it's impossible to keep track of all of the different potential trades that happen every single day. And having other traders that can kind of keep you aware of different setups can be really, really helpful for your own trading. Anyway, with all of that being said, I was into MBOT way down here. I had a really solid entry price on this trade actually. I just was not patient enough with it. And I also did not scale into this the way that I would have liked to in hindsight. Very similar to the HEPA trade, I took a starter position here as it was poking above VWAP, simply anticipating that it was going to then break above this opening range high. And then I added a few hundred more shares into that breakout, but I was not at all patient enough. I scaled out just under $2.20. And taking a look at the bigger picture here and the rest of the movement throughout the rest of the day, obviously that exit was much too soon. I made $313 in profits on that trade, but realistically I should have been scaling out into this move up here, and I should have been seeing that it was forming these higher lows and consolidating above VWAP, bought back into this consolidation, and then made some more money on this second run that happened in the afternoon. But again, obviously hindsight is 20/20, so really can't be too upset with locking in a $313 profit on that trade. The next trade was MNK. This was my losing trade for the day. MNK was a stock that had a massive run last Friday. We can see this ran from a low of the day on Friday of $1.45 up to a high of $6.69. Massive runner. And this was in the trade plans in the Market Master group. For me, the key level today was going to be anywhere from about $3.80 to $4 per share. And the reason for that is because of the volume profile, which if I go ahead and add this onto the chart, we can see that the volume profile has the high volume area being right there in the $3.80 to $4 range. So what I was hoping would happen was that this was going to gap down, pull back into that $4, $3.80 area, form a little bit of support there, and then bounce back up for a quick bounce play. So I bought into a starter position as this was pulling back at the market open right into that $4 area. I then added a little bit more into that position in the 380s, and it bounced a little bit, hit a high of $4.17, but I was hoping to see it get closer up to the 440 area, which was right at that opening price, and it just never quite happened. So I ended up taking a loss on this as it broke under this low here. That ended up being a $503 loss, but I am glad that I managed risk properly on this trade because it ended up pulling back to a low of $3.31, which is over 30 cents lower than the price that I managed my risk at. And that very easily could have been the difference between a profitable day and a losing day if I wasn't careful in managing risk on that trade. So the last trade that I want to talk about is going to be WKEY. WKEY was another trade from the trade plans because this was also a mover on Friday. We can see on the daily chart down here, there's been two different occasions in the past couple of weeks where this has spiked up and failed right in the low fours. However, on Friday, it held gains relatively well. It closed kind of close to that high of day and was consolidating in the after hours trading. I saw that as a sign of a potential continuation on Monday, so I started to scale into a position here. And I took my initial trade once this had this big morning pullback, and that pullback came straight back up. That to me showed that there was a lot of dip buyers here and that people were going to hold this stock up. So I took a starter position there. I added some more shares as this was starting to break above VWAP here, which ended up being a failed breakout. And then I even added some more shares as it was consolidating in this 340 range. And my average price on the trade actually ended up to be about $3.40. And at that point, I was into what I would consider for this setup to be a full-size trade. Because it was just trading sideways, it wasn't really moving in favor of my trade yet. I didn't really want to add any more shares into this position yet until it was confirming my thought process behind the trade. And unfortunately, so far, at least for the day, it has not yet done so. And I ended up actually just getting out of this for a small profit. I locked in $224 in profits on this trade. Like I said, my average price was about $340, I believe, and I ended up just getting out in the high 340s. And in doing so, that took my profits for the day up to $635. But this is going to be a setup that I'm definitely going to be watching again tomorrow if it doesn't end up having a run later in the day. And the reason for that is because we can see this is now an inside bar setup. So if this is able to break above today's $3.65 high on Tuesday, there's a good chance we'll see this push back through that $4 level and retest these recent highs. But as for now, I wasn't really seeing any volume and I wasn't really liking the setup too much going into the afternoon. So I just took a small profit on that trade and ended the day with, again, $635 in profits. So all in all, not too bad. I definitely would have liked to have been a little bit more patient with my winning trades on HEPA and MBOT. But if you've been watching these profit and loss recap videos, you can probably tell that that is one of the things that I need to work on most as a trader. So slowly but surely, I'm hoping to improve that aspect of my own trading. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you found some value in it. If you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to come join us in the Market Master group to hear about the stocks that I'm trading in real time and work with our team of traders, there's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up. And your first week will be 100% free. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.